beautiful soul. My name is Mara, and I welcome you to this pick a card reading. This is going to be focused on where the universe is leading you, and by extension, what your intuitive impulses are trying to tell you at this time. So go ahead and take a moment to review each pile. Then we will get into the crystals for each pile. And if you prefer to choose clairaudiently, there will be a sound selection afterwards. Okay, so we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And now we'll get into the sound selection. All right, if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video, or you're welcome to go back through the pile and crystal or the sound selection. But we're going to get started with pile number 1. All 3 readings are linked in the description below through a timestamp. You can find your reading there, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Again, this is all about where the universe is leading you and what your intuitive impulses are trying to tell you at this time. So let's start with your archetype. So you got the village. That's that's really awesome for this kind of reading because this is speaking very clearly about moving away from your comfort zone. This could be a physical, like your hometown, or if you're looking to move out of your parents' house or your guardian's house, if you are looking to move away from something that you are really familiar with. It's something that you've been in for a long time. It could even be a job, but whatever the case, it definitely feels like it's your comfort zone at this point, and you're being called to climb this mountain. You can't see what's on this mountain. You can't see what's beyond it, but you can see that there is the potential for beauty. The potential for more. And this feeling of expansion is very present. And so I feel as though right now your intuition is saying it's time to expand. It's time to change. It's time to grow and evolve into something else and somewhere else. So you may be moving, you may be traveling somewhere else, and it may not be permanent, but it does need to be honored and it should be followed through with. I definitely feel like There are some really solid people in your life that support this and really want you to move forward with it. But there may also be some, naysayers, if you will, and some people that it's really uncomfortable for them to see you wanting expansion because they're so stuck in the routine of their comfort zone that it's like looking at somebody not following that pattern is scary, and it's like they don't understand the unknown and they fear it. So there may be some people present in your life that are kind of like, "Well, what happens if things don't go right? What if you run out of money? What if things don't pan out? What if you end up this way or that way?" and blah blah blah. And so, do your best right now to really keep your inner circle filled with people that really want to see you succeed. And yeah, they may be sad to see you go and expand outside of their sphere, but they're still supportive of you and want the best for you. Okay. So moving into your astrology card, okay, you got the first house, the body. Yeah, feeling expansion, this feeling of evolving taking place. It feels very much like you're ready to spread your wings and just go for the new environment, the new people, the new experiences and places and things and all of the things that come with the unknown. It feels like you're definitely ready. Yes, maybe a little bit nervous, but you're ready to take that step. With the body in play, it's almost like you're ready to change your mask, and that's not like you not being true to yourself, like you're inauthentic. I don't mean it like that. I mean that there is a certain mask that we wear that we project into the world, and that can change from time to time. And you're looking for kind of new personality traits. Maybe you're looking to expand your knowledge of the world or you expand what your body has experienced. So maybe there are some exercise programs or some things that aren't available to you in your hometown or whatever this village is symbolizing for you, that just they aren't available, and so you'll be able to experience that in the future. And if that doesn't apply, it does feel like something revolving around your physique or your physical world will be changing as you kind of change internally. It feels like not only will the universe match that vibrationally, but there will be opportunities for change popping up as you align with this new path. And also, the first house rules your ascendant sign. So you may be wanting to lean into whatever qualities that sign is for you. It feels very much like that sign is what's possessing the physical or um the personality traits that you're really looking to experience. So moving into your medicine cards, we have first up autumn. Release the old and rest. Okay, so let's see. It feels like you're a tree that is shedding its leaves. Like before you embark on this journey, there are some things that you need to take care of. It feels like you're doing some housekeeping, maybe taking accountability for something, finishing up some responsibilities. If this is a job, you may be finishing out a certain amount of time that you gave at your resignation, or it could be making amends with people. Maybe you are letting go of some friendships and some family members that don't really serve you anymore emotionally, mentally. Maybe there are some draining things that you really need to clear out of your life so that they don't follow you forward into this next really beautiful chapter. It definitely feels like you're in the clearing stage. You are releasing what does not serve you. And and sometimes it's not so obvious. Sometimes the things that don't align with you anymore take time to really recognize, and that level of acceptance has to be there in order for you to say, "Yeah, I do deserve something more," or "Yeah, I don't know what I deserve, but it's not this." And so give yourself some time right now before you embark on this journey. Just rest and allow your energy to kind of balance out, process anything that you really need to, so that when you move forward, you feel ready and you feel confident about the choices that you will be making. Wow, there's a lot of big changes happening for you right now. So then we have Earth Mother. Feel loved and comforted. Again, there's this body change. It feels very much like you are getting to know your body on a whole different level. And you're kind of recognizing how you physically interact with the universe on a vibrational level. It's like your internal world is coming to the forefront for you to witness and for you to love and cherish. So expect some big vibrational changes in the future. It feels very much like you're heading towards a time of appreciating cycles that maybe you would have either been blind to or just not willing to appreciate in the past. There's all these butterflies, so it's a very transformative time. It's very abundant time with the grapes. It feels like the universe is blessing you. Mother Gaia and Mother Earth is really holding you at this time and saying, "Come forth. I know the mountain is covered on the by this shadow because the sun is on the other side. You can't see what's there, but trust that as you move forward, as you make those steps forward, that the future will be revealed to you. The light will be revealed, and you will find a path that feels good in your body and that feels good in your mind." With this little moon on on her forehead, it feels very much like you're awakening some intuitive impulses, and I feel like following this path will really instill a confidence not just in your decision making, but in you learning to follow your intuition. It feels like you are getting a hold of what that really feels like and determining what's anxiety and what's a your gut saying, "No, don't do this. It's not time yet," or, and so on and so forth. So you're getting to know yourself on a very deep level. I love that for you. So lastly, we have Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. Okay, so yeah, as you move forward, I feel like you are following a passion. You're leaving this really black and white thinking, this way of staying kind of stuck and stagnant, um, into a more abundant and fulfilling time. You are following your dreams, and again, that may make some people a little bit anxious. That may make people say, like, what if it doesn't work out? Like, if you're a singer, what if you don't get famous enough on time, and like you don't, have all these followers, and you don't make the charts, and they're filling your head with doubts, and it's like, "No, I know. I have this in the palm of my hand. I can hold it, I can feel it, I can see it, and because I've taken the time to release everything that I need to, I've released those limiting thoughts, because it's not like you've never had those thoughts. It's just that you've taken the time to process your emotions enough to recognize that those really are just fears, that they don't determine the outcome of what's to come. They don't determine really anything, as long as you are willing to recognize and honor your place in your cycle in your life, your place in your journey. And it feels like you are definitely doing that. You are igniting your passions, you're seeing your worth, you are recognizing what is meant for you on a soul level and a human level. It's like you get to experience in this next chapter of your life what it's like to really be alive, to be on fire and move through this world with, I'm seeing kind of like a chip on your shoulder, but not in a bad way, and honestly, I feel like if it were, that you kinda deserve it, like, you've always been super humble and willing to kind of push your desires to the side to make other feel people feel a little bit more comfortable, but now you're stepping into you. You're choosing your mask wisely. You are projecting this new version of you into the world, which, yes, can be scary, but you've learned how to process that. You've learned how to move forward anyways. You are literally embodying courage and at the same time vulnerability. It's like you are completely in charge of moving forward and following your dreams, and I absolutely love that for you. So keep following your intuition because you are heading down a very beautiful path, pile number 1. I love this energy for you, and I wish you all of the best on your adventure forward. Blessed be. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is all about where the universe is leading you and where your intuitive impulses are leading you as well. So let's start with your archetype. Oh, so you got the mountain. This is a really strong energy. It's very grounded, and it's all about working towards something, working towards the peak of this mountain. You're working towards goals, you're accomplishing things. I feel like resources are becoming available to you as you kind of discover more along your path. But it feels very much like you are discovering some new things in your life that really guide you in your journey forward and inward. There is a message here that the mountain holds a lot of gems and special things and treasures to find. So don't get caught up on maybe somebody that's already at the peak and you're like, "Well, why aren't I there? Why haven't I made it to the peak yet?" And it's like you still have some things to discover where you are. And this is about accepting and respecting and honoring the path that you are on and not trying to make it look like or feel like somebody else's path. There's also a message not to do the opposite and look down on somebody or some people and say, "Well, at least I'm not there. At least I'm not at the bottom of the mountain." Like, yes, it's good to take account of where you've been and how much progress you've made, but you don't need to be putting down other people in order to get to where you're wanting to go. So this feels like a very grounded energy, like you are moving forward with a lot of progress and you are being called towards very big goals. It feels like things that they're not very small, but there are lots of little details to each goal. So while you are approaching and really accomplishing these bigger things, it's important to notice and really take time with the smaller pieces of those goals. Okay, so let's move into your astrology card. Stability, earth element. Again, yeah, there's that feeling of groundedness, that really sturdy that sturdiness that you want when you are achieving big goals because you don't want to just like run full force into something without having the proper groundwork laid before you do it. Like you want something tangible. You want something stable and that's not going to just kind of slip away at a whim's notice. So this also feels very kind of almost honestly like very sensual. I feel like you're getting to know probably some parts of yourself that you haven't before. You're getting in touch with some emotions that you haven't. Maybe you are getting in touch with your sexuality and or something along those lines, but it definitely feels like a very honest look at yourself. It feels very grounded, and that doesn't come from nowhere. Groundedness comes from taking time to really look at our surroundings and feel our surroundings and feel how we interact with those things. So it's kind of like you are reflecting on what's around you and what's going on within you at this time. This also feels like maybe some truths are coming out, some like that honest feeling that I was speaking of. It feels very much like the truth about the matter at hand is revealing itself and you get to stand there and witness it. And not all truths are beautiful, but there's beauty in everything. And you are able to really transmute anything that's negative into something that really works for you. And that's a powerful place to be in your life. And that does create stability. That does create this moment of, I have learned to fully process my emotions. I have learned to not hold back in my thoughts and my inspirations because I know that they do lead me somewhere that's going to make sense for me. Wow. Okay, so moving on into your medicine cards. Starting out, we have Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. Yeah. Again, with that reflective energy, it feels like you are looking into the universe. You're looking into how you interact with the universe and really taking note of how you exist in relation to this world. And that's a pretty big step in life. That's a pretty big place to be. And it can feel like you're climbing this big mountain, like you're getting to know parts of yourself that you have previously not had access to. And it's because you're really taking the time to reflect. And she's being so gentle and calm with this mirror. It feels like she's very focused and really looking to stay calm in the midst of seeing all of this greatness. Because could you imagine like looking into a mirror and seeing the cosmos like in front of you? That'd be absolutely mind blowing. But it's like you have practiced the stability that you need in order to witness this kind of greatness and in order to follow your goals, in order to follow your intuitive impulses and really see something where somebody else may not see anything. They are not ready to see it. It feels very much like you've practiced your spirituality, you've practiced your emotional processing skills. And so now you are able to look at things in your life that you really weren't able to before. And again, that's all that's in that message of, if I can pick this card up, if of trying to find the treasures that are hidden in the mountain. It's like there are things that you have had in you this whole time, but maybe you just didn't have access to them. Maybe you didn't know how to get access to them. And now, from this place of stability that you've created, you are kind of leaning into that a little bit more. So, so now we have Shaolin Master. Be graceful in movement and action. I hope that I'm saying that first word right. But this feels extremely like, yeah, grounded energy, a peaceful energy. She's also very calm. It feels like you're moving from a place of knowledge, of knowing. And it's because you have had such big and deeply felt experiences that you know the inner workings of you. You know how to kind of interact with the world in a way that makes sense for you, and you're not trying to do anything outside of that. You're not trying to force things. You're not trying to make things fit that don't. You're just trying to move in a graceful and strong and purposeful manner. So it definitely feels like you are channeling this energy. You're channeling that moving forward while accomplishing your goals. And if you're not, then this is something that you can practice at this time because you do possess this ability. It's just a matter of finding it within, of taking a look at within and taking a look at your vibrational reality in relation to your physical one and seeing, how can you tweak and adjust and reflect and, change your perception. And lastly, we have the heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Yeah, it feels like you are really in this moment of self discovery, and the universe is bringing you to the self love that you've really been craving, that you've wanted for a long time, but just didn't, again, have access to because there were things that you weren't willing or able to witness. Sometimes it's really not our choice. Sometimes we want it, but it's just not available. And so now it feels like you are holding this is like a little vial of what I'm seeing is like passion and love and maybe even lust, and that sensual feeling is also represented here, and it feels like you are able to be delicate and powerful and strong at the same time. And if you're not feeling that, again, it's like these feelings are open to you now. This is where the universe is leading you to. And if you don't feel graceful, if you don't feel powerful, know that you are opening up to that. You're heading towards a time and your intuition is leading you there that is going to make you feel that way. You're going to open up and really let your heart be seen and let yourself be vulnerable. And that's extremely powerful and extremely meaningful to experience in your life. And she's got her eyes closed. She's calm. She's dedicated to how she's feeling internally. And she's feeling that love. She's letting herself be loved. So, not only by yourself, but definitely from the people around you as well. Yeah, it feels very powerful and very calm at the same time. It's very stable. So know that if things are very hectic in your life, they're going to start calming down. You're going to reach a point where you get to take that break and discover the things around you. You get to go inward. You get to look and feel. And there will be a lot of knowledge and experience gained from this period of your life. It feels like following your intuition and listening to the universe and taking note of what that even means to you and what that looks like for you specifically is going to be your best bet at this time. Really leaning into love, leaning into introspection, leaning into moving with purpose and power and grounding yourself. Maybe meditation is something that you need to focus on at this time, but it definitely feels like you're moving towards a really peaceful and self respected time. So just make sure not to compare yourself to where you are in relation to other people. Everybody's on their own journey, and each cycle should be respected and it shouldn't be forced. So align with you, align with your love, and know that you are moving in the right direction. And when you know that and you really feel it in your heart, then you don't really need to worry so much about where other people are in relation to your journey. So, good luck on everything that you are looking to accomplish. I feel like these goals are big and they are beautiful, and you are so worthy of them. And I wish you all the luck. Blessed be. Hello, group number three. Welcome to your reading. We're going to take a look at where the universe is leading you and what your intuitive impulses are trying to tell you at this time. So, let's start with your archetype. Okay, we have the cave. Okay, so this is all about turning inwards, turning in for some introspection, maybe reflecting on yourself, shadow work, excuse me, and really coming to a place where you can rest. Maybe you are feeling burnt out. Maybe life is honestly just too chaotic for you, and you need that time to center yourself and get to know where you're at right now vibrationally. If you are feeling a little bit like you don't resonate right now, you can pick up another pile, but this may be something that you are denying, something that you don't want to look at, you don't want to turn in because you are afraid of what you might see. You are afraid of what you might feel and experience, and that is okay. That is natural to be um, kind of worried about what the shadows may expose you to, especially when it's your own shadow, when it's your own darkness that you really need to face. This can also speak of a dark night of the soul. So if you're feeling more and more like you're heading into that realm, know that they are not permanent. A dark night of the soul does not last forever, and you will not be there forever. Nothing is permanent. This too shall pass. And you can really expect to learn what you need to and actually feel rested by the time that you come out. You can feel rejuvenated from a moment like that. And if you allow your intuition to really guide you into this moment of rest and introspection, then it's so much more fulfilling than if you fight and and really ignore this message that you know in your gut to be true, to really slow down and turn inward. So let's move on into your astrology card. Okay. Saturn, this is a very ruthless planet. It does not really care about the 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 feelings. I'm speaking like this is a person, but it's like if it were a person, they just honestly don't care about how other people feel. They're going to say what they want to say. They're going to do what they want to do, and they don't really take other people's feelings and experiences into account. They just do what they're doing. And so that kind of feels like either you need to channel more of that energy, maybe you are people pleasing a little bit, or it's more so feeling like that's kind of what's happening in your life. Like circumstances feel out of your control. The snowball is rolling out of control, and it's like you either get out of the way and do that work of self-discovery, or you're going to get wrapped up in the momentum of it. You're going to get wrapped up in the the word pain is honestly coming up. So it feels very much like either you turn inward and face the truth of the matter at hand, you face your personal truth, or you stay in denial, but that's like a whole other kind of world of pain. It's like it's so uncomfortable to stay in a stuck and an unwilling place in your life. And it may not feel that way all the time, but it definitely catches up with you. It definitely builds momentum. And oftentimes, if we stay in denial and we aren't willing to look at the truth or even just kind of glance at it, then we end up snapping, we end up breaking. And that can, I mean, either way, you'll end up in the cave, but it feels like, are you going to go willingly and with your best intentions, or are you going to go fighting, kicking, and screaming? And I don't want this to sound like, oh, you need to fear the cave, you need to fear the shadows and looking at the truth, because the truth isn't all bad. It's something that sets you free. It's something that can feel so liberating. And I think that it's just a matter of honestly just surrendering and recognizing what we can control, what we can't control, and where you are in relation to those things. It's not about looking at something and condemning it. It's not about seeing it and rejecting it, or seeing something and it being so hideous that you just can't bear it. It's like, no, there's such beauty and magic in recognizing the honest truth about a situation, about yourself, about acknowledging your authenticity, of taking off any kind of mask and just existing as an energetic being, and kind of seeing what that feels like. How does that feel in your body? How does it translate in your life? It's a big deal. So, moving into your medicine cards, the moon, take note of intuitive messages. All right. That's what you are trying to do. And the universe is saying, yes, keep on it. Keep listening to your intuitive pull. Keep listening to that push that you are feeling towards the cave and towards the truth. It's okay to kind of fear the unknown. There's a whole side of the moon that we just don't see, and it's not exposed to us. It's in the shadow, and maybe that's the part of you that you are ready to explore at this time. This also may be a point to really listen to the full and new moons, or just the whole cycle in general, and see how that applies in your life astrologically. You can take a look at what Saturn return is for you and when that's happening. But overall, this feels like you are feeling the pull. It's like the way that the moon controls the waves. It's like you feel the ebb and the flow, and you're ready to embrace it, whether you think you are or not. It feels very much like you have a lot more power than what you're giving yourself credit for. There is this kind of magical side to you, and maybe you are very in touch with your magic, and that's a really powerful place to start this inner working journey. Okay, so we have the eagle. See from a higher perspective. Yeah, shifting your gaze from the outside, from keeping yourself busy, from distracting yourself, and really zeroing in on something to a bird's eye perspective. You're seeing the whole picture. You're looking within. You're looking um you're looking with purpose. You're not just looking around just to fill your sight so that you don't have to look at the truth, so that you don't have to face something. But it feels like when you do raise your awareness, when you do shift your perspective about situations, that it does bring you some freedom, because birds are freedom. They are a symbol of that feeling of soaring and moving and flying through situations. So it's like, even though it may seem hard on the outside just because you've never done it before, or it's something that you feel like you've never done before, um, it will bring you a lot of ease and a lot of comfort to really shift in a direction that feels new and outside of your regular kind of circle. But you have a lot of power in the way that you perceive your reality and the way that you perceive the world. And no, that's not, I'm not speaking about toxic positivity. You definitely don't want to head down that route. This is more about seeing the truth and shifting your perception from a really limited point of view to a more abundant point of view. And I wish I had an example in my head, but I'm having a hard time thinking of one. But I feel like you intuitively will know what to shift and what feels good and what doesn't. Just make sure you're listening to your body. So last we have Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. Yeah, it does feel like you are a very magical being. You're probably in touch with some witchcraft or some kind of craft in general, but it feels very much like you're ready to walk this path. I feel like she has this cleansing smoke in her hand, and and she's keeping herself open to receive energy, to shift and move through through life with a certain kind of interest, with a certain kind of curiosity. So it feels like as you move into this cave moment, into this destination that is really asking you to turn inward and maybe be alone for a while, that you aren't afraid. You are lit up. There is this really bright light around you, and it's not just in this card, it's in here too. The cave does have a light, and it's time for you to nurture that light. It's time for you to maybe fall in love with life again, maybe really get to know your passion and experience the universe's love for the first time in a really long time. But whatever the case, it definitely feels like you are really in tune with your spirit guides, you're in tune with the universe, and really leaning into your intuition. And I just got the message, maybe you have cut yourself off from your spirituality um, some time ago, and now you are ready to kind of reawaken that, realign with what spirituality means to you and what that really looks like. But it definitely feels like you are cleansing some things. You're letting things go and choosing to walk a path that feels really in alignment with you and your highest good, your light. Very powerful. So overall, I do feel like you are really getting the hang of listening to your intuitive pulses. The the universe is leading you to a safe and restful space. This can look a little dark and daunting, but it isn't all dark and gloomy. It's the truth. It's beautiful. It's restful. It's rejuvenating and it's cleansing. And so, as long as you keep shifting your perception of the world and your circumstances and allowing for the truth to reveal itself, no matter how painful or how wonderful it is, that you just stay open. You are willing to experience and have very deeply felt experiences. So I think that you're going to do wonderful, and that you are truly on the right path, and the universe has your back. The universe will not abandon you in this situation, and I don't think that you're going to abandon yourself either. I think that you have everything that it takes to move into this time with stability and with confidence, knowing that you can trust your intuition. So I love you. I wish you all the best. Blessed be.